Hello, my rubber hearts. We have walked through the 5 stages of a mixing cycle, but there is a decision inside every stage that deserves its own spotlight. The order things go in. Not what you add, not how much, but when. The same recipe, the same ingredients, the same mixer, added in a different order, can produce a different compound. Because sequence is not a formality, it is a control variable. As real as temperature, rotor speed, fill factor, ram pressure, or energy input. Every ingredient changes the batch the moment it enters. Loading time is not always mixing time. Before we talk about specific ingredients, we need to clear up one important point. When two ingredients are added during the same charging window, that does not mean they are doing the same job inside the chamber at the same moment. In real production, filler may be loaded while oil is being injected. The rotors are turning, the ram may still be open, and the real work may only begin later when the ram comes down, the batch compacts, the rubber grips the material, and the mixer starts to build torque. So sequence is not only about the clock, it is about the condition of the batch when the ingredients enters. Is there enough structure for oil to absorb? Is the temperature right for the next step? Is the mixer building power or is the batch sleeping? That is what when really means. Not just the minute and the second on the chart. The physical state of the compound at that precise moment. One of the clearest examples is the relationship between fillers and liquids. A processing oil or plasticizer can be very helpful. It can improve flow, help intake, control viscosity. It can help the compound accept larger filler loadings, but it also reduces shear. So if too much oil enters too early, before the filler has been properly incorporated, the compound can become too lubricated. The mixer may still be turning, but the stress needed to break filler agglomerates is reduced. The batch moves, but the energy is no longer going where you need it. Instead of opening agglomerates, the mixer starts sliding through a softened mass. That is why oil timing matters. But the opposite mistake also exists. If oil is delayed too long, absorption may become slow or uneven because the filler is already strongly wetted by rubber and the compound structure has closed around it. So the rule is not never add oil with the filler. That does not match real production. In many mixing rooms, filler loading and oil injection overlap, especially while the wrap is open. The better rule is this: add liquids in a way that controls viscosity without destroying the grip, torque, and shear needed for the stage you are in. Sometimes that means filler first, then oil. Sometimes it means split oil addition. Or sometimes it means oil and filler enter during the same loading window, but with control rate and timing. The correct sequence depends on what the compound needs at that moment. Carbon black and silica both need shear, but not the same sequence. With reinforcing fillers, sequence is never just about getting powder into the chamber. It is about making sure the mixer still has enough grip, viscosity, and torque to break agglomerates apart. That applies to carbon black, and it applies just as strongly, often even more strongly, to silica. Silica agglomerates can be especially difficult because silica has a highly polar surface and tends to form strong filler-filler structures. So silica compounds still need serious dispersive mixing. They need shear, power, they need the batch to pick up properly. In a carbon black compound, the main sequencing question is often, can the mixer build enough torque to incorporate and disperse the filler before liquids reduce the shear too much? But in a silica-silane compound, that question still exists. But now you also have to decide when the silica enters, when the silane enters, whether the silica is added in one portion or split additions, when oil is introduced, and when the batch has to be dumped and cooled before the productive stage. Silica and silane are usually introduced early in the non-productive mix. They may be added together, they may be added in split portions. Oil may also be added during the same general loading window, often after initial pickup or with a later silica portion. That can work perfectly well, but only if the compound still builds power and the mixer still has enough shear to break down the silica agglomerates. So the rule is give silica enough shear to disperse while sequencing silane, oil, temperature, and cooling so the compound can finish the non-productive stage safely and consistently. That is why silica compounds are often mixed in more than one stage. The first stage does the hard work: intake, incorporation, dispersion, and preparation of the silica-filled master batch. Then the compound is dumped and cooled. Only later, in a cooler productive stage, are the curatives added, not because silica does not need shear, because it needs shear and timing control. Curatives come later for a reason. They are one of the clearest examples of sequence discipline. Sulfur, accelerators, and cure system ingredients mainly need uniform distribution. They do not need the same high shear work required for reinforcing filler, and they should not spend unnecessary time in a hot mixer. If curatives are added too early, especially while the compound is still hot, the cure system can begin reacting before the compound ever reaches the breast, and that is scorch. And once scorch begins, mixing longer does not fix it. So curatives normally come last in a cooler productive stage with just enough mixing to distribute them evenly. Plasticizer, oils, and process aids have their own timing. Liquids and softening ingredients are not just there to reduce viscosity, they are tools for shaping the entire mixing path. Add a small amount early, and you may improve intake, reduce excessive torque, and help the compound start moving. Add too much too early, and you may lose the shear needed for dispersion. Add it too late, and absorption may become slow or uneven. That is why many compounds use staged addition. A small amount early to help processing, more later after the filler begins to incorporate, or a delayed injection to finish viscosity adjustment without drowning the batch. The exact choice depends on the polymer, the filler, the oil absorption, the mixer type, and the target viscosity. But the principle is always the same. A plasticizer does not just enter the recipe, it changes the working conditions of the mixer. So its timing matters. Polymers also have a sequence. When a formulation contains more than one polymers, the polymers often need time to blend before filler is added. Filler does not always divide evenly between polymer phases. It may prefer one phase over another, depending on polymer chemistry, viscosity, surface energy, and mixing history. If filler enters before the polymer blend structure is developed, it can localize unevenly. Later mixing may not fully repair that. So in many conventional blend compounds, the safer order is blend the polymer first, then add the filler, but this is not an absolute rule. Sometimes compounders deliberately use a master batch strategy to place filler into one polymer phase. That is still a sequence, but now the sequence is being used intentionally. The point is not that there is one perfect order for every recipe. It is that the order must have a reason. Every ingredient has a job and a moment. The moment an ingredient enters the chamber, it begins interacting with the batch. Fillers are contracting rubber, oil starts changing viscosity, silane starts meeting silica, process aids start changing flow, curatives start seeing heat. No ingredient waits politely for the rest of the recipe to catch up. So the order of addition is really the order in which you start a chain of physical and chemical events. The recipe tells you what, the formulation tells you how much, but the mixing sequence tells you when. And sometimes when changes everything. In the next episode, we stay with one of the forces that has shadowed every stage of this series, the one that opens and closes every window we have discussed, heat. In the next episode, we will discuss temperature control strategies, how the mixer fights its own heat, why cooling matters more than people think, and why letting a compound get too hot does not just slow things down, it can destroy the batch entirely. Until then, stay elastic and stay curious.